Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's be honest, trying to choose a mutual fund, especially right now, can feel like you're walking through a minefield. But what if you had a simple, repeatable system to make the right call every single time? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build together today. And I totally get it. Some of you are probably thinking, wait, mutual funds after the year they've just had? It's been it's been a rocky road. So it's a completely fair question. Are they still a smart move? I mean, come on. We've all seen the headlines, right? There's been all this chatter about misconduct, funds getting sucked into these super high-priced IPOs, and then you have last year's darlings, the top-performing funds, just suddenly hitting a brick wall. Yeah, it's enough to make anyone a little nervous. But here's the thing. Despite all that noise, the answer is a resounding yes. Mutual funds are still an incredible tool for building wealth, but, and this is a big but, only if you know how to look past the hype. And that is exactly our mission today, to give you a simple method to cut through the confusion and invest with real confidence. Okay, let's dive in. First up is the single most critical step, and honestly, it's the one most people just skip. You've got to look inside the fund. You need to know what you're actually buying. And this is hands down the biggest mistake people make. It's kind of crazy, but something like 90%, yeah, 90% of investors just look at last year's returns and click buy without having a clue what's actually under the hood. So check this out. It's a perfect example. On the surface, these two funds look the same. They're both labeled mid-cap fund. But when you peek inside, whoa. HDFC is spread out over 76 different stocks with a heavy bet on financials. Motilal Oswal? Totally different. It's a super focused, high-conviction bet on just 21 companies. Now, one isn't better than the other, but they are fundamentally different playbooks. You have to know which game you're signing up for. And you know what the best part is? This whole checkup takes like 2 minutes. Seriously. Step 1. How many stocks are in there? Is it a big basket or a small one? Step 2. Just eyeball the top 10 holdings. Do they look expensive? And step 3, does it do what it says on the tin? Is your small cap fund actually buying small cap stocks? This little 2-minute drill tells you so much. You know, that whole idea of a fund's mandate is a perfect segue into our second big point. You gotta choose your category wisely, because not all categories are created equal. They all play by different rules, and you really need to know what those rules are. Okay, a classic example is the whole flexi-cap versus multi-cap thing. It trips a lot of people up. Think of it this way. With a flexi-cap, you're basically giving the fund manager a blank check. You're saying, I trust you, go find the best companies no matter their size. But with a multi-cap, there are rules. It's all about discipline. The manager has to put at least 25% into large caps, 25% into mid caps, and 25% into small caps. See? Totally different risk levels, totally different philosophies. And that leads us right to the person pulling the strings, the fund manager. When you buy an active fund, you're not just buying a basket of stocks. Nope. You are hiring a person. You're betting on their skill, their experience. It's like the old saying, right? You bet on the jockey, not just the horse. I mean, just look at a legend like Prashant Jain. For one of HDFC's big funds, he managed it for 28 years. 28 years. And over that time, he delivered an 18% compound annual growth rate. Think about that. On average, your money would have grown by 18% every single year. That kind of consistency is just, wow, it's extraordinary. And here's why that's such a huge deal. The overall market during that same time, it grew by about 11% a year. So he didn't just beat the market, he crushed it. But here's the real secret of a great manager. It's not just about the good times. Anyone can look like a genius in a bull market. The real test is how they protect your money when everything is crashing. That's what separates the good from the great. Okay, time to talk numbers. But wait, we're not going to just look at that big, flashy return number that everyone gets obsessed with. Nah, we're going to go deeper. We're going to decode the numbers that really tell the story of a fund's quality. First thing to check is the expense ratio. It's just the fee you pay the fund company every year to manage your money. It seems like a tiny percentage, but here's the catch. It gets taken out of your investment every single day. So yeah, lower is almost always better. But there's a small caveat. Sometimes, just sometimes, it's worth paying a little extra for a truly world-class manager. All right, don't zone out on me now. I know these next terms sound super technical, but I promise they're easy. Think of it this way. Alpha is the manager's report card. Did they beat the market? Higher is better. Beta is the fund's roller coaster factor. Is it a wild ride or a smooth one? Lower is better. And Sharp and Certino? They basically tell you if you're getting paid enough for the risk you're taking. For those, just like Alpha, higher is better. Simple as that. Okay, I can almost hear you thinking, this all sounds great, but man, it also sounds like a lot of homework. I get it. So let's talk about a game-changing shortcut, and right after that, we'll cover the biggest mistakes that you absolutely have to avoid. This right here is your new best friend. It's a total cheat code. You can literally just copy and paste this prompt into your favorite AI tool and bam! What used to take hours of research now takes about 10 seconds. It'll spit out everything, the fund style, the manager's history, the top holdings, all those fancy ratios we just went over. It's amazing. All right, let's talk about the big pitfalls, the mistakes you absolutely cannot make. Number 1, collecting funds like they're trading cards. Owning 15 different funds isn't smart, it's just chaotic. Number 2, chasing last year's winner. That's just FOMO, and it almost never ends well. And finally, and this is a big one, do not, I repeat, do not treat mutual funds like day trading stocks. They are a marathon, not a sprint. So what's the sweet spot? Honestly, for most people, it's somewhere between 2 and 4 funds. That's it. That's all you need for great diversification. You could have, say, a solid large cap fund as your anchor, a mid cap for a bit more growth, and maybe a flexi cap for opportunity. It's simple, effective, and you won't lose sleep trying to track everything. Whew! Okay, we have covered a ton of ground today, so let's bring it all home. Let's boil everything down to a simple, final checklist that you can use every single time you invest. Here it is, your 4-step plan to success. Number 1, do your homework. Look inside the fund, check out the manager, and understand the numbers. Number 2, focus on consistency. You want a 3 to 5 year track record, not a one-hit wonder. Number 3, be disciplined. Keep your investments going, especially when the market is scary. And number 4, play the long game. You're in this for at least 3 years, minimum. And that's it. That is the entire framework. A simple, repeatable process for choosing mutual funds, not with hype, but with real confidence. So the only question I have for you is, now that you know how to do it, what's the first fund in your portfolio you're going to put under the microscope?